how to do your short-term planning and your daily planning, your short-term and daily planning. So we are going to continue the class now. We are on the topic of how to form it, how to put together your short-term and daily plan. So who is going to read continue reading the, okay, so next page. Routine should discipline us. So the purpose of routine is for you to be disciplined. The purpose of routine is for you to be disciplined. So all these routines are what helped me myself, Pastor Sunday, to be disciplined. So this is saying all these routines discipline Pastor Sunday. He puts himself in the frames. So I put myself in the frames. I'm in the frames, in the circle, in the ring, so I'm a slave of these routines, because my routines talk about my life values, my mission in life. And my mission in life is more important than me, because that's what I was born for. That's what I was sent to this world for. That's what I was created for. So they are more than me. So I must be submitted to it. I must be subjected to it. I must submit myself to those plans. So that's why routine is what I must submit myself to, because they help me to carry out my life mission and my life goals. So I am not more important. I'm not in control. Once you put yourself above your routine, then you are not really serious. You are just joking. Then because you will come one day and say, I don't have the mood, or you will come one day and say, I overslept, or you will come one day and say that I changed my mind. Let me just write this again, or separately. You can't do that. Your routine has got to become, just like God said he exalts his word above his name, so also you must, exalt your word above your mood and your likes and dislikes. Just like there is equality before the law in government, that is the same way. Your word, the law, which is your word and your decisions, they must be binding even to you yourself. So,
Routine should discipline us. All of these routines discipline Pastor Sunday. He puts himself in the frames.
Is it on? Are you sure it's on? It's mute. It's mute, right?
No, it's not mute. I think the battery.
It's not mute?
Yeah, it's not mute.
Is the battery? Let me see. Okay, we are going to keep on reading, but the battery is off, so. Norman, it's okay now?
Yep.
Can you try to talk? It was off, eh?
It was off.
Okay, you didn't notice it was off?
Yeah, no.
It was not on mute?
It wasn't on mute.
But it was off.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's okay now. Okay,
Yes,
good. Can you read that again?
Routine should discipline us. All of these routines discipline Pastor Sunday. He puts himself in the frames. Routines are the frame of annual, monthly, weekly, and daily plan.
But this is okay? This is understandable? Yeah. Who can explain to me what that means? The routines are in the frame of these 4 things. Who understands that? Who can explain that?
I think the activities that you've identified from your global plan that you've broken down into long-term, intermediate, short-term plan. You look into your yearly calendar, and you put those activities.
Right, at this point, your calendar is empty, right?
Yeah, at this point, your calendar is empty. Okay. So you identify activities that you have derived from your global plan that you've broken down.
No, activities that will help you
achieve,
to execute, or that will lead you to execute or to fulfilling of each.
For each of the goals that you have.
Okay.
So you break it down and identify the ones that you need to do annually, the ones you need to do maybe quarterly or monthly, and the ones you need to do daily, and you plug them into specific places or dates in your calendar, and that becomes a routine, because you know you have to do that at that particular point in time.
Okay. Can anybody explain it further? This particular phrase. Why do we need those annual, monthly, weekly, and daily plan? Why do we need to insert that in our calendar and our routine? Nani?
Yeah, it kind of disciplined you or remind you that.
First of all, explain what that means. What those things do.
Routine at the frame of annually. Those are let's say kind of targets, or you've given yourself. And
can you show what we are talking about to the slide? Show the slide to the public so that they okay. What?
Targets that you have given yourself, and you plug them into dates in a frame. Let's say in a calendar. What you're going to do each year.
Why do you call them targets? You mean your goals or what?
Your goals.
Okay.
Your goals. You already have a goal, which is you are planning.
Can you mention one of your goals, for example?
Well,
let's say personal relationship with God, right?
It's a personal relationship with God. Maybe that's one of my goals.
Okay.
Now, how do I attain that goal?
Mm-hmm.
So each year, I'll have a calendar. Each year, I'll say, okay, I'm going to do this personal relationship, maybe in form of prayers or solitude.
Okay.
Maybe fast. Maybe fasting. Maybe I'll say, I'm going to do this yearly.
Okay.
So how am I going to break it down to this yearly? Okay. And I can say each month, I could do it like 4.
No, if it is yearly is one time a year. So you only need to decide when that year.
Yeah, when I'm going to decide, do it each year.
Okay.
So each year, and I know I have 12 months in a year.
We have one, that is each year is one. What about each month? What about something you want to do each month? Let's say you say, I fast once a year. Okay, you put it already. January or October, last week, I fast. But what about if there are some things you want to do every month? How do you fix that?
If I want to do it every month, I could say maybe twice a month. Then
why twice a month? Well, every month. We just say every month.
No, sorry. I'll do it every month.
Okay.
Then in that every month, I have to pick a date, a particular date of when I'm going to do it that month.
And what do you do with the calendar?
I make sure I mark it on my calendar.
You mark it out.
Yes,
and
I mark it
when you have marked something out in the calendar, it's gone.
It's gone.
So that is how your calendar gets filled up. Mm-hmm. But it will not be 100% because of the grace that spare something you want to live yourself.
Yes.
What about if it's weekly?
It's weekly. Equal the same thing. I'm still going to pick a day of the week.
Okay.
And say, okay, this day of the week, I mark it out. And I know that I have to follow that day each week. This is what I'm going to do this week. Then same thing daily.
Yes.
Okay, every day I have to make sure.
So how will your calendar then be looking? Soon your calendar will be looking like this.
Mm-hmm, yes. In the year, once a year.
Yes.
I go to monthly.
Yes.
Each month the date is there,
yes.
And the color differentiating with different colors.
Yes.
To remind
different
me.
color for different
for
activities. There are some activities that lead you to church growth. They have different color. There are some activities that lead you to leaders development. They have different color. Or you can do like that, or you can do other things like colors. What I do every week, that prayers have one color, or spiritual something have another color, or different thing you want to use. But before you do the color, before you go to this calendar, this is the thing you are now describing.
Okay.
Do you get this? This is what you are describing. Crusades will be 2 days, once in a quarter. Fundraising will be weekly. Anniversary will be 4 days, once in a quarter. Retreat, 3 days, once in a year. Higher education, these are just approximate. These are just, you understand?
Yeah.
Then, once you have done this, then you see the colors in front of them too.
Differentiating.
Yeah, to differentiate them. Then you go in there
and plug them
in. Idera is making it. You are making it now. You are making it. You are making it. It doesn't look like a mystery anymore. Okay, so this is where we are. So let's continue.
Routines lead us to the goal every day. We must be sure that our schedule has routines that lead us every day to the goal. Every day we need to do something that brings us closer to the
You
implementation.
see, we are not doing routines for routine's sake. The purpose of routine is to bring you, they are automatically bringing you to the implementation of your global purpose. But the only difference is that you are breaking them down like you do the elephant. But when you follow them and do the same thing routine by routine, you are actually eating those elephants bit by bit. Okay? So by the time you finish 1 year, everything is done. The next year is the same thing, just tweak it. Next year for 5 years. Then the next 10 years, you remember you go back to your long-term plan and you do another 5 years like this. So, but you started first from the distance where you are going, and then you walk down here, and now you are going from here now there. I don't know if you get it.
Yeah.
First of all, you're starting from where you are going, from 25 years of the end of your life to here, before you now start to go from here to there. It's like you are not getting the point.
Get it.
So, we started from the big, what's the 25 years or the end of our life. Global vision is, global purpose to the end of our life. General vision, general plan. From there, we break it down here. Then, once your calendar is filled up, then it's every day till 1 year, then till another year, then till 5 years, then for another 5 years. So you are now working now from here to meet that goal you have. And that's, by the time you get there to that year, everything is finished. The elephant has been eaten. That is totally different from what you get from motivational speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are doing from day to day without planning from there first. All I want to say something. Can you stop looking at her and those are eyes? It's impossible. It's impossible.
I just wanted to say, it's like, so basically from what you're saying, it's like how the Bible says that God finished it
Before he starts.
and then it starts.
Alpha and Omega.
So he completes it, then he
Before he
starts.
starts. Alpha and Omega in one person.
Yeah.
So he first finishes before he starts.
Yeah.
That's the way we are supposed to function.
And if we follow that routine, we can't miss
We can't
it.
fail. So that's why I say that you cannot, it's not really difficult to be successful in life. But everything must be 75%. And what is that? Planning. But when you jump into the fight without 75%, you will just keep on struggling through life. So, because I wonder what pastors are doing with our people in church. People go there or to church or to listen. So what are they doing if they are not teaching them this? Because people will not be productive. They will not be effective. They will just be struggling through life. And some of them are in those churches for 5, 10 years, 20 years. And they have not been taught how to function in life. Huh?
It's not a pastor thing, no. Even professors don't know.
Even professors
Yes,
don't
so
know.
I just wanted to say it now.
That what?
For now, let's leave church aside.
Let's forgive them.
This is a national thing.
Internationally.
This is a national thing.
Even international.
Yeah.
So when I look, now you people will understand why I look at those politicians, the young politicians, and you want me to go to the level of just emotionally condoning and supporting some young guys that don't have a clue?
So this is why Nigerian politics never go beyond 4 years. and the 4 years is even because, not because they even have a plan, but just because they want to campaign for people to vote them.
For Nigeria right now, I'm having 50-year plan. Even though I'm not going to be here in 50 years' time. I've already finished 50-year plan for Nigeria. But you will know that it's easy after you finish this thing. Once you know this, you will, then when I begin to say that we are going to, when I go to Nigeria, I'm going to change, not me alone, but when we go to Nigeria, Nigeria will change, that we will change Nigeria. You probably begin to understand more and more
Yes.
on what basis I am making this affirmation. Because of what I know. And not just plan. Planning is just one thing. There is order. There are a lot of other things, principles that will be applied. Okay, here we are.
Every day we need to do something that brings us closer to the implementation of the planned program. Pastor Sunday's routines. The main routine is a solitude because God is the source of his strength.
You remember that's the main value. So God is your main value system. God is your obsession. Is my obsession. So that is, I start with him. And they have to take prominent place in my routine. God, because it's my obsession. So my obsession has to be reflected in my routine. Okay?
Reading scripture and daily personal prayer retreat, 2.5 to 3 hours.
You know, I told you, like, tight. Yeah.
Solitude, 7 to 14
So
days.
the one on top is the daily, what I do daily. So that is going to, right there, going to the calendar.
Yeah.
And it's there daily. Then you have?
Solitude, 7 to 14 days in a month.
So that is monthly. So, you know, for you don't have time because I am a man of my own, but you could at least do maybe 3 days if that is your priority. But okay.
Everything should work on purpose. Pastor made his schedule so that in 10 years he would have the result. 10,000 organizations and churches and 50,000 church ministers. If today he does not teach in his mentorship group, he teaches at a leadership school. If he is not at school, he has his personal prayer solitude or schedule pastor's team.
So I'm always doing something that is leading to the fulfillment of those 10,000, 50,000. Because they are in my routine. I cannot escape. They are my life.
Pastor Sunday's routines. Periodicity is important.
So these are the lists you make to attain all those goals before you put them into the calendar. But before you even put them in the calendar, you work out the colors first you want, and the periodic, the ones you'll be doing every month, the ones you'll be doing every week, the ones you'll be doing 2 times a week, or you see it? So like these ones are every month, these ones are different. It's something. So work that out first. Okay.
Why color?
What you like, just for you to make, because when you see it, color just know that, oh, these are all about prayers, or these are all about personal relationship with God, oh, these are all about leaders. This color is all the things I would do about leaders. Oh, these are all the things I do about getting crowd to come. Oh, these are all the things I do about solitude, Just, yeah.
I want to say that, like when you come to this routine, it just clicked to me that I was brought up in a religious home.
Yeah.
And the religion made plan for us, and a routine that we kept on
Doing,
that it becomes our habit. That if you don't do it, you might be you feel sick. But it was not leading to
Any goal.
any goal.
Okay.
Like when I
Not
came-
leading to any purpose.
no purpose,
Just tradition.
just for the religion, you know, the church service.
To
If-
please them.
Yeah.
Is to
If
please them.
if you're the one to handle the praise and worship, the routine is that you must be there 10 minutes before,
Before, yeah.
and is like that.
It's a law.
And when I now get to winners, we have what is called winners time.
Wow.
As a winner, if you're the one in charge of this, no 1 minute you cannot be late.
Very good.
They
So
keep
they put you people in routine for their own purpose.
for their own purpose. So we do this and it becomes our habit. We don't feel it
Yes.
that we are being pressured.
And that is why up to now, all of us are shouting and crying to Nigerians that they are deceiving you. They cannot hear
No,
because they are locked into routines of
because it has
the
become
GOs.
it has become their
a habit
habit.
and their lifestyle.
Even in the office, somebody walking will make it known to the manager.
I have to go
I
to
don't
church,
play
oh.
with my Wednesday,
Wow.
and they negotiate it. If they are going to Wednesday service and there is traffic, you see a winner park the car on anywhere and take bike.
To do what?
You must meet
Take
your
back?
time. Yeah, you must meet your time. You are supposed to be there 10 minutes to routine. So it clicks to me that we do this without, we don't have any plan. We are just working on the routine of their own plan for years.
But what they are supposed to do is it's supposed to be the opposite. They are supposed to teach you to build your own plans
Exactly.
and build your routine
Exactly.
to fulfill your own purpose.
Exactly. So if we were taught about this, it is
So they just made the whole country into slave.
yeah.
That means they know.
Yeah, because they are educated. You know, I told you the other day that these are educated people who know how to get. They know the 48 laws of power. They know all kind of things. They read a lot. All those people, yeah. But they only do it to enslave other people.
Even me, I used to say that I would never miss a Sunday in my life. I would never miss prayer meeting.
They have put it in your head.
Yes, so no matter what you do, even if I'm sick, I must be in church.
They don't walk calm into you.
You're always proud, right?
Always proud that I didn't this year. I didn't miss no Sunday.
But what is the goal and purpose?
Nothing.
It doesn't even concern your calling or anything.
It helps them to,
Slave to become your master and for you to be their
you
slave.
keep enriching them.
Slave camp.
I think because they are part of the 3%, they planned.
They plan.
We didn't plan.
Yeah.
So
It's true. They are the 3% that plan, and the 87 and 97% are working for them. And there's some of those people among their members who are in the 13%. They are the leaders.
The pastors.
They are the pastors. They are the slave masters. They are the ones calling you, making. They are just using them too to put you on that 84% in order.
They put some courses so that you don't want to miss, because if you don't come, you are already lost.
They have 5. They have the, the what they call it. They have a system of encouragement and system of punishment. All I want to say is slavery.
And I'm thinking that they perfect this plan, put you into their routine.
Yes.
But aside from fulfilling their purpose, they don't teach you how to be disciplined, because the country would have been running fine if they actually taught you that
Taught you.
in your workplace, in your home,
Yeah.
in everywhere else.
But they are not interested
They are
in
not
teaching
interested in that. They're only interested in
in
fulfilling
making you slave to
for
their,
their own
plans.
purpose.
Wickedness.
But I just want to clear this, that you can't give what you don't have. From that premise, you want to believe that some of these men of God, with regards to what they need to do with the flock,
Maybe they don't know.
the lopsided approach that they have is, once you are saved, everything that has to do with your life just ends in the service of the church. So I think that is another side I'm trying to imagine, because you now want to imagine, if they know this truth, why can't they detail it that everybody will be able
It's
to
either
walk in
one
the
of the
light
two.
of
Either
that
because
truth?
they don't know
Because-
better, or because they know and they are not interested in you. They are only interested in themselves.
Yeah. So I'm just
For me, the way I see it, when it comes to the gospel, I don't think they know. They are only giving out what they know.
Okay.
But when it comes to things like this that have to do with just life or anything, I know that for some of them they know, but they are using it to their own advantage, but to the disadvantage of the people. For example, if you have ever been in Winners, you know that Winners is a church that is very time conscious. A service in Winners will never start late. Never. I've never seen a time where even if the service has to start 4 a.m. on the dot, that service has started. And everybody that needs to be in the respective department or to make it work, they are there. So I believe they know. But like Pastor said, they have been using it to their own advantage,
build
to
their own
fulfill
empire.
to build their empire. And they are just using other people as slaves and not teaching them that this is what we do. It is clear.
Instead of them to teach you what they know, so that you could build the country, build your life, make the world a better place, build the kingdom of God. They are
Sir,
not interested.
Christianity will have subdued
The whole world.
Nigeria alone, with the millions of Christians
Who
that we
are
have,
Christians.
just going to Redeem Camp, going to Shiloh every day, going.
Going to services.
You know, when Pastor was teaching, I was just looking at the slides. And I was just wondering if a pastor in Nigeria could just put this thing on the screen and begin to teach his church members. I mean, how you're doing this, you want to plant this, you can apply this in your life, you can apply this in your business, you can apply this in whatever you're doing. I was just imagining, I said, this is not possible. But they know it, because without this kind of plan and structure, they can't build that big church. They know.
They've locked us into their own.
Yeah.
Only those at the top.
Yeah.
Some of the pastors are not aware.
They don't know,
The
yeah.
pastors are also
Because they are the 13%
Yes.
who are managing
Yeah.
the 84%.
Oh God.
Because to open up this kind of thing is not normal. No, I don't think any normal pastor would do it. It takes
You have
humility
to have the,
and love.
and you have the heart of
the
God.
heart of God to do it. That means they don't even think about members. They just
Think
they're
about
just
themselves.
concerned about what they will get.
So you people have never been taught things like this before.
No,
Not even close.
no.
No, the closest I have come is what you've said with all these motivational speakers.
Okay.
But it's always here and there. And you are always doing it, but not from the right perspective. Not from the right
But not in
direction.
church.
But, no.
Forget church.
Church, you can never sit in church. Sad.
Wow.
What kind of your book read is this?
I've not written a book on it.
Not yet.
No.
Okay, but then you create a book.
I will create a book.
Yeah, for sure. We need it, everyone.
Automatic bestseller.
What should it be called?
What your plan your
Plans, structures.
plan structure your life.
How to become great through planning.
Yeah.
How to become great
I
through
think that
planning.
yeah, has become great to plan.
True planning.
Yeah.
True planning and or planning and structuring. So.
Because when people hear planning, they think they know.
They think that's the problem. They think they know.
What did I say?
How to reformat your brain.
And your life.
Factory reset.
I've not written.
Factory reset.
Maybe how to plan and achieve your God-given goals through planning, organization. You know, people like God-given, so. But yeah.
Could I have a question about these routines? I
Yes.
wonder what is anointing service?
Anointing service, that is when we do once a month when I go to church to preach. Because we do Holy Communion.
So you go one time
Once a
every
month,
month to
yeah, to
church
preach,
and preach?
yeah.
Okay.
Meet the needs of
Yeah.
I also want to say that sometimes what has turned the brain of our Nigerian people, like from the one I know, like in Winners, they always tell us we should put little effort, more fruit.
What?
As a believer, that we are going to put little effort,
And have more results.
little labor and more results.
Yeah, because labor, one day of
Because-
labor. One day of favor.
Because God is going to transfer the wealth of the unbeliever to us, and that is the advantage we have to
The Christians, unbelievers.
Yeah, we have more advantage to them.
So why are you all not millionaires yet?
We have waited, and the wealth is not being transferred to us.
They are being transferred to Oyedepo. Yeah, is that not enough for you?
But it's our own wealth. It's our own.
No, but I see your members rejoicing and being happy that Oyedepo buy another jet or he build another university, as if they are going to study in that university for free, or they are going to ride in that jet. It is our jet. When did you last ride in it? Because so he is getting transferred. He is getting the transfer. But the transfer is not even coming from unbelievers. It's coming from your pocket. Give her the microphone.
These scriptures that is being used, and I want you to please balance the truth. If
Yes.
actually there's something like that, like there are 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-folds of return, and there are different forms of harvest. There is an harvest that the Bible says, look into the field. The harvest is already there, and there is a place that I want to be clear. Like, you don't labor for something, you get it. So that there's a biblical verse
Find the book.
that you can use to back that up, that some have labor, but you will enter into their harvest. So, and that sometimes that it is delay. This is the lame that will take the prey. Like something you don't work for or you don't labor for, but there is a way it comes. So
I wrote a whole book about everything you are saying. That book is called Work is Better Than Vacation, Labor Better Than Favor. So what I'm writing about here is the fact that it's all deception when they tell you that one day of favor is better than 10 years of labor. So I'm saying no, labor is better than any form of favor. And when they tell you that, and I'm also saying that work is better than vacation. So this is that book here. But to try to answer what you are saying right now, is it you spoke about 40 days? Oh, don't worry. 40-fold, 30-fold,
Yes.
60-fold.
Yes.
You remind me, because I will answer all of them in snippets. So the first one you mentioned is 30-fold, 60-fold something. The answer that one is simple. Did you see money there?
No.
It didn't mention money there. It mentioned justice. It mentioned mercy. It mentions love, kindness. but there is no cash there. Those are the things that will multiply 64, 34 something. But, you know, I understand what they are saying. That is a principle. It could also be applied to other things, but they are only talking about money. But it's not money that God spoke about. So let's get that one right. Then when he talks about the fruit, the plant, the good soil, he talked about seed, but he didn't talk about money. He said the farmer. He didn't say the believers, the church members. He's just talking about principle of work. It is the farmer that goes to work. And so he's talking about physical, concrete, physical seed. And then Jesus interpreted that and said the seed is the word of God. In other places, I think it's you who put up an article about seeds.
It was.
You can please tell them about it.
Entry into the harvest. Doctor, that's the last
Which
part.
one is that?
That you enter into the harvest is full. Some have worked, but you enter into the harvest.
Okay.
Yes.
Some have worked and
Yes.
you enter into the harvest, but that is not the last one. But that is talking about prophets. That's talking about prophets that have lived before us. It's talking about, okay, for example, even the Bible we're reading now, it is the labor of other people. We are entering into it, and we are just taking Bible and reading it. Do you know who wrote it? Do you know the labor? The prophets, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Moses, all of them prophesied and labored for us to have today, and we just walk in. We just apostles, they were killed, hanged, all their labor, but we just enter into it. That's what it's talking about. That's talking about money. No. Even if it is harvest, let them go and show us at their farm first. And let them give you the opportunity to do your farming first. But they always do talk about money. But it's not none of those places talking about money. I have a whole message about that. Is seed sowing about money? It's on my YouTube page. All those things I've done teaching on them. If you go to look for the series on prostitution of tithe and offering, yeah, that is all about it. Okay, yeah, you read it out for us.
I made this post. The meaning of seed in the Bible. Seed in the Bible means the word of God. Mark 4:14, 1 Corinthians 3:6. Seed in the Bible means human being. Matthew 13:38. Seed in the Bible means Jesus Christ. Galatians 3:16. But they didn't talk. I said there, not money. Oh, stop being deceived to sow money as seed.
Yeah. So let's continue with our. So you see the list of activities here. We read them and did we read it out already?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue. So now those activities, see how I put them. This is an example of my calendar right now. I'm just taking 1 month. So by the time I get the calendar out for you, this is the way it will look. You want to read it?
An
No need. We can try.
An example of Pastor Sunday's schedule.
For a month.
November 1 to 6, personal prayer request.
Retreat.
Sorry.
That's solitude.
Prayer request. You're used to prayer request.
Oh my God. November 1 to 6, personal prayer retreat. November 7th, the anointing service. November 8th to 11, workshops for foreigners. November 11th, meeting with Kiev's pastors. November 11th to
You see that all those activities that I'm doing, that you are saying, they are all bringing me to, no, they are fulfilling, making me to fulfill on daily basis my 10,000, 100,000, yeah. They are the routines. So that's what routines do. They automatically bring you to your goals and dreams. Okay?
November 11th to 14th, retreat for foreigners. November 17th, meeting with speakers of the leadership school. November 18th, meeting with regional pastors. November 19th to 20th, apostolic council. November 22, mentorship group 2. November 23, mentorship group 1. November 24, mentorship group 2. November 26, mentorship group 3. November.
So those mentorship you are hearing, when you hear people testifying, especially when those people they're always I'm in your group, I'm Pastor Sunday's group. That is what they mean. That I'm being mentored directly by them. Okay.
November 27, mentorship group 4. November 25th to 28th, men's retreat. November 29th to December 4th, pastoral school. November 29th, mentorship group 1. November 30th, group chance 1. And December 1st, group chance 2.
And those are mentorship groups too. So for leaders. So all those activities, if you yourself now can even go and talk, you can look at them and know what that will lead to, what that will produce. Either it will produce leaders, or it will produce pastors, or it will produce activists, or it will produce members, or it will produce those automatic activities that lead to the goals that have been written, that you had seen earlier. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So that's the way they are. This one already is clear already too.
Yeah.
Those are the activities that are monthly, and that's the way they will look in the calendar, in the colors. That's an example of creating a schedule or routine. Then you have the one for the monthly, and for the weekly, for the daily. Then this is another example of creating the schedule. So you have the activities, the routine, then you have the periodicity, or the how often.
Yeah.
Then you have the color. Is that clear enough? We don't need to read it. Then this is the calendar. So, but instead of 1 month, you put a whole year. So that way, you see the short-term schedule, short-term plan encompasses daily, because this will lead to daily automatically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Till a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the daily one we mentioned, I mean, each day, each day, like this personal prayer retreat must have activities. You don't just go. You must have what you have to achieve within these 6 days.
You mean for the prayer personal retreat?
Yes.
Oh, of course. Books, reading, listening. Oh yeah, you put your plan there too.
Again, there's another work.
Yeah, but that's another topic. Solitude. I have a video about that, solitude.
Yes.
You can go and listen to that. It will tell you what to do there. Yeah.
The issue is that when you listen to those things once, to go back, because you have to listen to
new ones.
it. Because you have other things. I've listened to that solitude, but now that you are saying, I remember that I've listened to it. But you can't catch up because you have to listen to the new one.
That's what it means to be trying to run after Pastor Sunday.
But I think it's good to learn and apply it based on what you're doing.
Yeah.
For example, you made up your mind to have 3 days retreat every month.
Yeah.
You listen to it, pick the points, put in your routine, and leave it.
Yeah.
I think you can also just focus on what is relevant to
your
you
purpose,
at that particular
your
time,
calling.
and just focus on it rather than trying to learn everything.
Yeah.
So,
what is relevant to your calling for that particular time? So is this also, okay, we've seen this before. We've seen this also. We've seen this. So plan for the day.
Number 6, plan for the day. Each day's plan should bring us closer to our goal. Planning every day means organizing all daily events around the main goal.
It's all coming from the main goal. Okay?
We need to call each day according to the name of our routines. What does planning mean? Planning means building our life around our goals so that we could do every day at least one step towards our goal. We need to plan precisely those things that will lead to results and not let vanity distract us.
You don't just plan vanity activities, but activities that relate to your goals. So I'm not planning my goals that I'm going to wedding, or I am going to take, or I am going to, visit, or that, because those things don't lead to my goals, to my life goals. I could do them, but I can only do them in my 40% of time, so I don't plan them. I've spent time with my wife, is good. I can plan in my own personal schedule, but not in my life goal something. So they are secondary stuff. What is most important are these ones that are. But in my own personal, I just want you to know this, but in my own personal big goal, I have them. Let me see if I have one here. Okay, you see, something like this. You see here, I have vanities here. Not just the prayers, you see. Time with wife, you see, 8 to 10. Time with wife, and also those are the elaborate, detailed something. But it could get you distracted. So we're only talking about life something. That's the most important thing for you to plan. All these other juice, I drink juice, they get telephone calls, I medical calls, gym, shower, those are just the mundane things, but they are not important, they are secondary. What you must plan are those 60% life purpose. But these are just for your own something. Okay, are we here? Okay.
Planning does not mean one schedule daily vanity. That's brushing our teeth, eating, or going to the store. It will be anyway.
Those things you will do them anyway. So they are your 40%. Don't pay attention to them. Don't make secondary things become primary. Don't make vanity, mediocrity things your main thing. But that's what you see women do. Oh, I have to cook. Then they forget about their life goal. I don't know if you're getting my idea. So, we have to take the children, we have to bath them. And that's what they're doing every day, all their lives. But what they were really sent to the world for, they never really get to do them. So that's why I'm changing the order, so that those things you don't even need to plan them. Those are just in your 40%. But the things you really need to plan your life around, your life shouldn't be lived for those things, those other things. That is not your life. Those are just supplementary stuff. But your life, your life really is what God sent you for. All those other things are just subsidiary stuff. Ola is out. He wants to talk.
As a woman, so
as a woman,
one of the things from school, the school, you get letters, the parents, teachers meeting.
You do them in your 40%.
No, because if I've set the routine for the year, and then letters come to school for the different, and it's clashing,
and that is why you have the 40%, so that if anything clashes,
you can move
it. You can, you know that your first priority is to compensate for it from that your 40% you have left. That's why you have that as maneuvers. Okay. Yeah. So that 40% gives you all the room to be able to. Yes.
So for people trying to recover lost years.
Yes. That's why from 40% you could add and double.
Okay. Because I wanted to say, must it be 40-60 or could you do 70-30?
Oh yeah, you can do 80. Most people do 80-20. But when you have wife, children, and other social obligations, because if you push your wife to the corner, she will not be happy. and then this whole thing could fall apart. If your wife is not happy, nothing is happy. Nothing will work. So for you not to do that, that's why you have to be careful with that one.
Where will Uncle Sam fall?
Uncle Sam, okay. With Uncle Sam, plan your things first, and then decide how much time will you give to Uncle Sam. So let's say, for example, you plan it like this. You know that my Uncle Sam is 8 hours a day. So then all these other things, you plan around that. You understand? So you put Uncle Sam, that is a big chunk. Okay, since Uncle Sam is still a big thing in my life, then that one is already there. That one takes your 40% and it takes more than that. So maybe you now have to have a reverse something, 40% for your life goal, but the remaining 40% will be for your life goal. So you could turn it around like that. But you have to plan it around your Uncle Sam. But you still have to plan it. And then know that, okay, what I do is Uncle Sam from 8 in the morning till 4. But even among the Uncle Sam will be doing it, then you have to plan your life priority in a way. You might not plan it every day, your life priority for every day. You might plan your life priority for weekends or for evenings or for just, God will understand because God knows where you are now. But you just know that once you plan it and put it in a routine, let it even be only evenings, but every day you must do something towards your plan, towards your goals. Consider your situation, whatever situation you are in right now. You plan it. You are the master. You start it. You plan it. So you plan it according to your situation. Then you can increase it or improve it later as things change. But if you are working for Uncle Sam the way I spoke about yesterday, and the money from Uncle Sam is helping you, and the money can work for you, some of these things you don't need. These are when you are involved physically. For example, when you are not, if I am supposed to, for example, when I'm going to Nigeria, before I go to Nigeria, I'm going to do some things. I'm going to set up a plan like this, but things will be running in Nigeria without me being there. Even though I will be coming to check, but I will set up a plan like this just for Nigeria. Things will be running, so what I will only be doing is to talk. So even though I'm not spending 8 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours on it, maybe only 10, 15 minutes every day to talk, but with other people's time and other people's energy, I am actually doing 8 hours, 16 hours, more than that. So the same thing with money. So I could set up a system to give scholarship, or to sponsor some things. So I don't have to be there, but I have people who are there. So they are working like this, while I only oversee. Different thing. If you remember, we spoke about that yesterday a little bit. So those are different things you could do in that sense. You don't get it. It's too complex, for you. So you can still make things work for you without necessarily making it be like my own, like this. It's like that. I don't get your reactions. Either it is not clear, or let's.
I think like the one you talk about, the Nigerian stuff. I think with it will be effective when the system you have here is being implemented there. Mm-hmm. Because
for example, if I am supposed to support, if I know that my calling is orphanages, and I know that I still have to work for Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam is what gives me the possibility to be able to support those orphanages. Mm-hmm. So I have to be going to work 8 hours a day. but I know that is how I'm getting the money I'm using for the orphanages. So I just have to find the orphanages that I believe in, that have routine and that have plan and have systems.
Okay.
So I get that orphanages and I see that they are working and they are giving me a report. So I have to work out. That is what I know what I'm talking about. So I just make sure that they are using the money judiciously. How many children is it being used to take care of? Where are their pictures? What are their names? What are the the reports about them? Am I so I'm doing my own thing that I need to do to get the money, but I'm just controlling the fact that the system they have is working for the goal, for the purpose, the way I want my purpose to be. I don't know if it's clear enough or it's not. So you could still use other people's time, other people's energy, other people's resources while you are. So it doesn't have to look like this. It's just you knowing and working out your own system the way it will best work for you. Just like I was talking yesterday also about somebody who will go and work as a laborer 4 hours and then build his own. So it will not look like this, but he had a way in the way it was being built. Or like Pearl talked about yesterday, having contracts. She's still working, but she built her own schedule for self-education, for business and things. Okay.
The main thing is the goal. Therefore, we have to live so that daily routine will be secondary relatively to the main goal.
So the main thing is the main goal. Even though you know you are doing all other things, but you know your main life purpose is the main thing. You are always controlling it, that you are touching it every day. You just live on a life in such a way that every day, at least you know you are doing something towards your goals.
It is easy to be engaged, but hard to be effective.
Yeah, because to be engaged, to be busy, everybody could be busy, but that doesn't mean you are effective. But this schedule and planning will make you to be effective rather than just being busy.
Planning principles. We need to plan for no more than 60% of the time, taking it on purpose. The rest time should be left to do other things.
Even when you are working for Uncle Sam, you could still, apart from Uncle Sam, plan 60% out of Uncle Sam. Don't plan everything after Uncle Sam too. Still give yourself a leeway. So that you don't drain yourself, you don't kick yourself to the corner. Okay?
We need to plan for no more than 60% of the time, taking it on purpose. The rest time should be left to do other things so that we could maneuver. We need to monitor daily short-term plans, 2 to 4 activities.
Yeah, so if you are working, this is for the people working for Uncle Sam. If you are working for Uncle Sam, you might not be able to have a busy daily schedule like this to reach your plan. But have 2 activities, 2 things that you only do after Uncle Sam to facilitate your calling. 2 to 4 things apart from the Uncle Sam. That is good enough. It's not about the quantity. It's about the persistence. You know, the miracles happen when we do the same thing at the same time over consistently. So do between 2 or 3, 4 activities apart from Uncle Sam. So you don't stress yourself. You don't push yourself to the wall. Take 2 activities daily, different activities. You say, okay, on Tuesdays I'll be doing this. On Wednesdays I'll be doing this. Or every week I'll be doing this regarding that activity. So you are not stressed up. 2 to 4 activities apart from Uncle Sam. So it's going to be different from this, but you will also be effective in your own way. Okay?
Focus on achieving the goal. We have to live so that our daily routine will be secondary to our main goal. It is easy to be engaged, but hard to be effective. Habits determine success. Turn successful experiences into a habit.
You know the activities that are effective, that bring to success. just keep on doing them like routine, they will become your habit. And when you are doing something as habit, you don't feel the pain of it anymore. That's a good thing about habit. So there are bad habits, but there are also good habits. So for example, for me to do live broadcast has become a habit now, so I don't feel the pain again. The only pain I'm still feeling is the solitude sometimes. Yeah.
Examples of Pastor Sunday's daily schedule. Whatever the differences will be, Pastor's daily schedule contains routines that, one, reflect his values, are built around his global life purpose, and the general plan of his life. Pastor Sunday has 7 different schedules.
So when I was busy with the church, before I started doing all these live broadcasts, those were my schedules. So this is one option. I have 7 different ones like that, but see, it's very detailed. Okay.
How to schedule our routines. 1. Use the calendar, Google or any other calendar. 2. Make a list of things.
Remember the calendar?
Yeah. Make a list of things you have to do.
You remember the activities that lead you to? Okay.
3. Determine the frequency of each routine, either daily, monthly, weekly, or annually.
You remember that as well? Okay.
4. Denote each routine with a certain color. 5. Form a table and specify a weekday and time for each routine.
Okay, that's when you have this. So that's it.